Greetings, body jugglers. This is Satek Ananda from the BodyJuggling Zendo in Dallas, Texas, and we are working with Nancy and Angie today. We're doing styling on Tandem Dragonfly, right?
Yeah. Okay, I thought we were doing improv, but
yeah,
okay.
wait a minute, yeah.
Wait, say that again.
Thought we were doing improv tonight.
Are we doing improv? We can work on improv. Have you guys been practicing your tandem?
Oh, yes.
And is it feeling good?
Yes.
Okay, well that's more exciting to me because, you know, it's like I love changing stuff up. So you guys want to work on improvisational movement on the bar, and are you, in your minds, would you like to do that individually or would you like to do that simultaneously?
I think it's simultaneously.
That would be fun to play off each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so of course you need to start individually so you can both figure out your own language and how your body likes to use the bar, and then we can let you start relating to each other. Okay, so we're going to start with solos. Go back to them for me. We're going to start with solos, and have you ever used the bar? Okay, wait. When you were saying freestyle, do you mean freestyle with the ball or without the ball?
Either. Oh,
yeah,
either.
Okay,
We're
either
open.
way.
We are open.
Yes.
Because I was thinking in my mind without a ball, and the reason is I tend to teach freestyle with a ball without the ball at first because the dimension of movements that's possible, like people don't really get it. So if you're wanting the ball, that's cool, but we're still going to start without the ball. Okay? Yeah. Go back to us. So before we jump into our work, do you have any questions about Tandem or anything we've been doing as of late? Anything you've learned, discovered?
No, one of the things with the Tandem I noticed watching our video is when we finish the double and then we're going to go into the single Dragonfly, I think when I'm in figure 4 at the very end, that's when you should start walking up to the bar before I even leave. Because there's a little break, that little loss of attention break. If I get up and she walks on, it's more like a transition. Mm-hmm. So that's what I...
Well, let's deal with that. Let's deal with that when we're actually going to work on the Tandem stuff, because what I want to do is I want to actually see it, and then I'll feel what will make it better. You know, that's the best way to style that kind of stuff. But it's a very good question, and we can deal with it next week or whenever we get back into Tandem.
Okay.
Oh, awesome. Okay, so beginning of freestyle on the bar. You can scoot anywhere you need to that's not going to block the bar. I'm going to go first, and then we'll let either you go or them. We'll figure it out. Say what? Well, then, no, you go then. It's only going to be one of us. You go.
Me?
Yeah, it'll be easier for me to...
But you do it so much better.
No, I don't. No, I don't. Okay, so what she's going to do... Oh, you grabbing music? No, I'll do it later. Okay, so what she's going to do is she's going to start on one side of the bar, and she's going to hang from the bar in any way that feels comfortable. And she's going to focus on the sensation of the stretch. Okay, so when we're doing freestyle, we're not thinking in terms of making pretty poses or pretty movements. We're thinking in terms of the feeling of the stretches. And each stretch is going to create a new stretch. Like when you stretch one part of your body, when you come back, another part of the body is going to want to stretch. And so what you're going to see is she's not trying to be pretty. She's literally using the space to stretch her body. Gently, slowly, she's going to hang out there as long as she wants to. She's going to gently let herself start to move across underneath the bar. She doesn't have to stay on the floor. She can come up if she wants to, but if the floor feels good, she might stay there all the way across.
Oh, I do too. That was nice.
And there's a whole lot of stuff you can do hanging. I often forget about that myself. So as you guys are doing this, and whenever you practice together, be really present with watching, with witnessing the other person, because they'll give you ideas. Their movements will give you ideas. You'll be like, oh, that looks like a good stretch, or that looks pretty. Every single movement leads to another movement. Every stretch leads to another stretch. Every moment leads to another moment. So right now we're just going to focus on the stretches. If you end up making good combinations of stuff, that's cool and that's fine, but I don't want you shooting for that. I don't want you thinking about that. I just want you to explore the space. Good job. Same thing. Start on one side.
He's a monkey.
Oh, nice.
I like that.
I don't do that without the ball enough. Okay. Who's first?
Do you want me to go
Yep.
first? Oh, and I'm nice and sit for it, too.
Tilt the camera down just a little bit if you can. Not that much. Halfway. Good. Now focus on the stretches. Focus on making your body feel good. And using the space creatively. They got bars, we don't.
Yeah, that's awesome. I want those bars.
Not in other places you don't.
Mm-mm.
It gets in their way for...
Yeah, there's advantages and disadvantages,
Right.
as in everything.
Yeah.
And don't be afraid to hang out in a stretch also, Angie.
Yeah.
Hanging out in a stretch is going to make it go deeper. It's going to make you relax more. It's going to give you more ideas for other options of places to go from there as well.
Oh, that feels good. And we were kind of jonesing for this. We're so short from Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. So what you're going to start to realize is that every single movement can become a stretch if you pay attention to it and you allow it to be.
Even just the smallest of moves.
Yep. Sometimes those are the best stretches. Like craniosacral, they barely move your body and it like relaxes your bones.
Angie, I love how you just like jumped right into it fearlessly and you're creating your own poses and your own stretches. It's awesome. That looks really fun.
Oh, that feels good, though.
Beautiful.
Good job.
Oh, keep it going, keep it going. Get everything that needs to be got.
Even her toes. Oh, it feels good.
Good job.
Oh, good.
Good work.
Mm. Mm.
Now don't try to remember the stuff you saw, Nancy. Let yourself just find your own stretches, explore the space in your own way.
I think it gives you a much deeper stretch
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
instead of just your traditional, you know.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I've always loved hanging and working with objects to stretch, because it allows you to stretch deeper.
Yes.
Stretch the bottom on its own.
Nice, Nancy.
That's a good one.
Ooh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Makes you feel like a kid again, too. Like
Yes.
climbing a
Like
tree.
playing on a jungle gym.
Jungle gym.
That's
Nice, nice. That was,
hang on the heels.
yeah, that's a Spider-Man stretch right there.
Nice.
Ooh, nice for the shoulders. Mm.
Wow.
Damn. Legs for days.
I just like hanging. This is it's like being a kid.
She used to teach pole dance.
Oh, really?
She might still fit.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, wow, Nancy, that looks really good. I'm just, you know, like the pose and obviously the stretch. Like you're really getting a really good stretch of that.
My low back really needed
Yeah.
that. It's like hanging upside down on a. I mean, I actually could just hang upside down, but
Action.
that was nice. Hanging
Good
upside down was so good for my low back.
You feel good?
Yes.
It does.
Very good job, ladies. And now, so everybody kind of stayed low on that. And now what we're going to do is we're going to play with the same thing, but we're going to stay more high. And the reason is there's a whole different way that you can use the bar high as opposed to low. And so one of the things that we have to start thinking about is all the ways the bar can support us. So it can support us in hanging out, it can support us in hanging down, but it can also support us in hanging over, right? And this over can happen from the front, it can happen from the back, it can happen with the torso, or it can happen with an arm, or you guys were all doing, you know, a leg over it. So there's all these different ways that it can support. So now the same thing, but we want to stay up, and we want to feel the different ways the bar can help support us from above, because we were all exploring how it can support us from below.
Nice hip stretch. Yes.
This reminds me of the dance we just did,
Yeah.
doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. But it's funny, it didn't get me loose enough. Probably just been done that kind of threw me in.
That on the other side. Okay, so we're going higher, supporting from the sides and above. Same thing.
So we're going to stay high.
Well, you don't have to stay high, but focus more on high. I went low towards the end.
Oh, I can feel that. Yeah.
So one of the silliest things that happens to us in movement is we actually believe we don't have any other options. Well, I don't know what else to do. We have nothing else to do. That's like believing that you can run out of words.
I had a 4-year-old granddaughter. No, you can't run out of words.
Kids never run out of words, so they always have something to say.
Uh-huh.
And typically the last word, too, to go with it. Typically.
Nice. And it's not a bad idea to record when you do freestyle, because you will not be able to remember what you did, and like that's a cool thing you might want to do again. Like I love that stretch.
Especially where she's trying to work on her pointing her feet. That was really a great foot stretch. You can see that.
Yes. Well, I've been getting cramps in my calves.
Yeah, probably from all the toe pointing.
Yes.
Nancy, do you have a way to put on some music for you guys?
Sure do.
Not yet. I just want to know if it was possible.
Yep. Just get something ready.
Okay.
Oh, that's it.
Oh!
That's a really good pelvic stretch, Nancy.
Missed it.
So what you just did there, Angie, was you found a good stretch you liked, and then you totally broke your space to go into the other side to do the stretch on the other side. Try not to break that space of continuing to stretch. So you can move from that side and find a stretch to get yourself to the other side. Does that make sense?
Yep, sure does. So if you wanted to go into a different one, you could just kind of do this.
And let that be a stretch.
Yep.
Yep. And then you figure out a different way to get to wherever you want. But every single movement, you're staying in that space of stretching and opening the body.
So it's a continuous flow of a stretch.
Yes. Yes, you gotta, to be able to freestyle anything, you have to learn to create a rhythm, a pattern, a space that carries itself. And if you break character, then people lose the character. It's up to you. You gotta keep that flow. You gotta keep that continuity. You have to stay in character. And no matter what you're performing, there's always a character.
You can feel this right in your triceps. Well, I mean, I can anyway. Oh, that feels good. Oh, your turn.
Good job.
My turn.
Notice how different those things were than the things you did when you were hanging, when you were underneath. And go, Nancy.
Very nice.
Mm. That's, you sit at a desk job all day? Yeah.
Once you get going, you don't want to stop.
I was just going to tell you to use the bar more. You're not like putting much on the bar, and just when you did, you found that stretch that you liked so much.
Yes.
So use the weight of the bar more in this particular exercise. Let something drape over it, lean your body into it, an elbow, a shoulder. But don't lose those stretches. Really try to find those stretches.
Keep it real.
Nice.
Like, let that tension drain away.
Yep, yep.
Sidebar. Can I do the double duty?
Nice.
Physical therapy, they would have me hold my hand on the wall and turn away from it. And I'm doing that right now.
Right. Yeah, no, I love that stretch. And I use a wall all the time.
I think over the years we get stuck on the same stretches.
Yep.
You know, when you're working out, you're like, oh, you just
Nice.
a routine of the same stretches, and it's thinking outside of the box and just anything for a stretch that's different because you're going to wake up those muscles even more.
That was nice, Nancy. Very nice progression. It was very natural, but I could tell it was a good stretch.
Really helped my low back. Isn't it weird? You think, oh, that's the shoulder, and then I did this, and my low back got a nice stretch there.
Good. So before you leave that position, nope, don't leave it. Come back, and then put your back to the bar and arch over the bar and feel the bar supporting your back. Don't try to go too far. Use it to stretch. Use it to make yourself feel good. Nice.
There's a nice hip flexor stretch right through
That subtle little melt you did there was very, very visible. Now you can let it evolve. So the word evolve is really important to improvising in anything. You have evolving, and then you have playing with something. You can play with any given element. So right now, she's playing with her back to the bar. She's exploring that position, and she's seeing how many stretches and whatever she can do in that place. You always want to play with anything that feels good. You want to explore it. And then once you've kind of explored everything that makes sense, not from the mind, but from the perspective of the body, then you let it evolve. Then you let it switch to somewhere else. And when you find something that feels good, you explore it.
That was
nice.
stretch.
Nice. That really neck and shoulder, the very last thing I did.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody will tell me, when I say, what do you want to do in class today? Work, my neck and shoulders are so tight. That was an incredible stretch. You know, we all think when we're doing this that our ears on our shoulder
We're
are so tight. Yeah,
so tight.
that was nice.
Come back to camera now.
They're doing it. Look, like I want to feel my
Yeah. I'm like that all day. It's horrible.
Okay, so tell me something either of you learned.
I'll just let go and don't try to think, well, this is the perfect move. Feel it. Is it the move? And I also learned that when I thought I was doing my shoulders, I ended up working my low back and my hips.
Nice. Nice. What did you learn, Angie?
When you're in the stretch and you're feeling the stretch, go a little further with the stretch because you can feel it even more. You can feel it progress, and And you don't want to stop. I mean, that's what I felt was, oh God, I could just stay here.
Right.
Melt
Right.
into it.
Nice. Well, don't rush anything because of us.
No.
Okay, so now we're going to take these principles onto the ball, but we're going to focus on specific elements, the same way we focused on specific elements of that. And let's do this. Okay.
It felt really good.
Both Shar and I are going to do a quick session, and the reason is she freestyles, she stretches herself much differently than I do, and there's no right or wrong way to stretch yourself. So the first thing I want you guys to do is we're going to pay very close attention to gravity. And so you know, Nancy, that everybody when they get on the bar automatically tries to pull everything up, and then they don't want their feet to touch the ground, and so it's all of this kind of thing. That's not where improvisation comes from. The floor is part of our apparatus. It's part of what we're using. And to learn that, I want you to focus on gravity. And so, for example, this is gravity, right? I have this tensile strength running all the way through the body. Everything in my body is connected to my hand, and if I let go, my body goes immediately. Okay? This is the kind of stretching we want to keep as we move. Anywhere that we move, we want to keep that awareness of gravity and heaviness. So I'm coming over here, my upper body is hanging down and feeling that gravity. If I'm coming here, my upper body is hanging down and feeling that gravity. Once again, I'm still searching for stretches. Gravity. I'm searching for stretches, not trying to make pretty movements, not trying to be a dancer. Feeling the weight of gravity and using it in your movement. Your turn. So when we're doing that, what I'm looking for is I want to see what part of the body is feeling gravity. Where is gravity coming from? And I want to see that whatever's holding the body up is relaxed and soft. So those arms are straight and relaxed, not, I don't want to see this. Looking for stretches, not for pretty movement. Making ourselves feel good. If you find a stretch that feels really good, explore it. Only evolve once your body is ready for something different.
It's kind of the one that I do, except I can't touch the floor.
Very nice, very nice. All right, and your turn.
One at a time?
One at a time. Say what?
Sports bra sucks.
Is that one or all of them?
No, it's an old one. Correct.
Make sure you're feeling gravity. I want you to work with gravity, not against it. Yeah, that's better. Do not be afraid to put your feet on the floor, to let anything hang down. More gravity. I want to see more pulling down. You've got a lot of up. You're letting everything float. But I want to see things pulling you down. Can you hear me, Angie?
Yeah.
Maybe that ball's just too big for her to get her legs down.
I think it's actually on my ball,
I think so.
which is a little bigger.
Is it? I think so. Which one's bigger?
Yeah, I think so.
No, I think this
That
one's
one,
bigger.
that one was big. That one was bigger. Okay, so Angie, like I didn't see your feet come down once. Everything you were holding your body up, and you were getting good twists, and like all of that was good. But I'm not seeing gravity. Okay, I want you to show me gravity right now. Show me gravity. That's gravity. Straighten that arm. There you go. Now move to somewhere else. Get another stretch, or if that's good, explore it. But I want to see gravity in what you're doing. I want to see the weight.
Oh.
I'm actually going down.
Yeah, I know, huh?
Helping you.
Yeah, good, good. So your legs started to go up, but letting them come down was gravity. Wallace had a terribly hard time allowing her body to be heavy and hang down. She always wanted to pull everything up and flip, and once she got it, it changed all of her movement.
It's funny how sometimes you're comfortable with one thing, but you're not comfortable with the other.
Right.
I can feel this right in my... That's really cool.
So allow your body to twist either direction, but keep it heavy as it twists. Yes. Good. I can feel the weight in that. And I can see the stretch in the hip. Nice. Very good exit. Good.
Oh. Your turn.
Yeah. Good work. So can you feel, remember, process the difference in the kind of movement that you were doing once you got heavy?
Yes, yes. You know, and I need to let my body soften.
Right.
Not be as rigid and let my body. And once I started getting comfortable, I could feel my body start to soften a little.
Yep.
But it was, you know, I think it was, I don't know what it was, maybe being on the ball that I just kind of felt a little rigid. But that's something that I need to work on.
Well, that's exactly why I start without the ball, because once you get the ball, it limits your range of movement inside the mind. It doesn't in actuality, but inside the mind, it limits the range of movement. Without the ball, you got no excuse. You can go in any direction, anywhere, and all the bar is going to do is just support you. And
it was almost like, oh, I have to think of what I need to do to stretch with the ball.
Right, and stretching doesn't come from thinking. It doesn't come from thinking. It comes from feeling.
Yes.
And all of that is not to say that holding yourself up and doing flippy type stuff is wrong, right? It's just one language, and we want to increase our language in as many ways as we can, because improvisation needs that freedom.
Yes.
Go, Nancy. Show me gravity. Nice. Gravity has a weight about it. You can feel it. Okay, so she just started an evolution. She was playing with that forward fold, and then she just let it evolve. Now the way she's moving, I can tell she's feeling every part of her body as she's moving. Nice.
Oh, very nice.
Something bar.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever you're freestyling, especially if you're practicing as opposed to performing freestyle, always challenge yourself. Always look for patterns you can break. Look for directions you haven't tried moving. Look for parts of the body you haven't used or stretched yet. The most important thing in improvisation is to avoid getting stuck in patterns. Nice. Beautiful. Total gravity. It's like gravity 1. But she's alive.
Nice. Very nice.
Very nice work. Back to the camera.
Very nice.
Tell me one thing you learned.
I learned to be free and not hold on to it being the ball. Don't think about what I need to do for a move. Just be comfortable with it and just relax.
Right. I could see your mind thinking, your mind trying to figure out what to do, and your mind wasn't trying to figure out what to do when we were stretching without the ball. When you were just on the bar, you were stretching, and I could see that you were connected and you were feeling your body. I want you to work on bringing that same feeling and that same awareness to how you're moving when you're on the ball. Okay?
Yes.
Awesome. What did you learn, Nancy?
I think it was easier because I was the second person, just so you know that. So, like, don't try to make a particular pose. Just what feels good for your body. And then if you do it a little more, either a little deeper or a little longer, does it feel better? If not, change.
Right.
Whatever you do, it's a time for me just to let go and let all those muscles stretch and the joints open and let my body breathe.
Right on. Okay, so as long as you guys are comfortable where you're at with Tandem right now, how long do you have until your performance?
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Oh, okay.
Friday. The same Friday you do yours on a Sunday.
Okay. Well, I'm going to leave what we work on next week up to you guys then. Think about whether you want more help with styling. Watching what you've accomplished so far and knowing that you guys are interested in freestyle, I want to do more freestyle next week because you're starting to touch the language and the possibilities tonight, but we haven't done anything with dancing yet. And I got one more thing I want you guys to do, but it's not going to be dancing and emoting and expressing yet either. I want to take all these principles into actually letting you guys start to move poetically and start to express yourselves and really like create emotion in the movement, not just do rote stretching. But the stretching is important because it's going to teach you how to really tap in and feel your body, feel the movements. Also going to teach you the range of possibilities you actually have in terms of movement, and then you can use all of that data to inform your expression, to inform that poetry that you're going to let your body create. So you guys do your practice in tandem this week. If you feel like you've got issues and struggling, we'll do tandem next week since the performance coming up, and then we can get back to improvisation afterwards. Or if you guys feel solid and are happy with it, then we can continue this improvisation game next week. Is that cool?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to do a very, very simple game that's going to teach you how to begin relating to each other. Okay? So watch us first. We're going to start on different We're going to start on different sides. We're going to start on different sides of the bar. And the name of the game is not being glued to the ball, okay? So because we're like both standing up right now. But the name of the game is we use the ball. So I'm standing up, but I'm not going to do this, okay? We use the ball to move. And what's going to happen is she is going to slowly and gently chase me, and I'm going to slowly and gently avoid her. Okay? So you got to use your ball to move. You got to use your ball to move. So I'm not sitting on it. It's not the answer because this is not sitting on it. But I got you, right? Or this, you know, or this. Okay? So she's going to use her ball to move. If you want to start sitting, then you can. Right? I'm just not going to.
Can I try to chase you?
Yes. So she's going to move her body. She's not actually trying, it's not tagged. You're not actually trying to touch me. What you're going to do is you're just going to move in the space, and I'm going to avoid you. It's like positive and negative. I'm going to move her. She's never done this before, so she's learning with you guys. Okay?
That's all right. Okay.
Whatever you feels
It's
natural.
impromptu. Yeah.
Don't know where we're going. Yeah. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Rock it. This is not about being pretty. This is not about anything other than navigating the space around your partner and using your ball to do it. So,
Sitting.
who wants to go first? Who wants to be the chaser? Oh, okay, nice. They went ahead and made it.
Why do I can't just be quiet? I'm not a quiet person.
I'm not a quiet person either.
I know that's hard to believe. Uh-oh.
Yeah, he said. You need to get here.
So Nancy is doing the chasing, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I was just making sure. Yep, yep. Right. That was good, Angie.
That's harder than
It is hard.
it is. It is very hard.
What it's going to do is it's going to start to make you really aware of the space that you have, the options that you have. Are you still chasing her, Nancy?
I am. I'm rolling over to her.
Okay.
I'm going to do a roll over. Every now and then I catch her and bump her on bumper cars.
That's not a very good. That wasn't a very good job of evading, Angie.
I know, huh?
Yeah, I put bumper cars there.
I know.
Right. No, but that was good. That was good. So now switch. Now Angie's gonna chase, and Nancy's gonna evade.
Okay, Nancy.
And remember, you're chasing gently. Your goal is not to catch her, but it's more to mess with her. Wherever you move, she's got to respond.
I'm stuck.
Okay, try again. Yep, you got to be more present with where she's coming from and how you're going to get around her. Once again, Nancy, don't feel like your feet can't go to the ground. They totally can. And if you got to let go of the bar to move around like that, you can. We're not glued to the to the bar. Nice, Angie. You cut her off.
Wow. I'm watching your feet. Whoa!
Okay, come up. So I know how you guys are, and I know you'll play with this on your own. And I want you to think about something when you do it. Let's watch us again. So, I'm going to take her this time. And so there's two things I want you guys to think about. How many different ways you can use the ball to move in the direction that you want. Because Angie, you had like one thing, and it was like this. And that was really that was the only thing in your catalog, okay? So as you're doing this, think about all the other ways that you can move the ball.
On that one move.
Okay? Think in terms of breaking those patterns. And the other thing I want you to do is think actually in terms of like, I know she's going to react to me. I want to move her. I want to play with her body like a pawn. So I'm going to go somewhere, and I know where she's got to go to get away from me. Right? Can you see how I'm actively controlling where she's going? I'm moving into space.
See, I thought we had to stay completely on the ball.
Right, and I thought yeah.
That makes sense? Instead of like hanging out in one place and like, you know, like really manipulate where your partner is with your movement. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Try it again.
I was stuck in that one move, and I was like, okay, I've got to think of a different move to do because this is ridiculous.
Are you chasing me? Okay.
Okay, let me think.
All right.
Don't think, just feel.
Don't think. Thinking, just move her body. Use your body to move her body in different directions. Exactly. Go straight to where she is. Don't try to be polite about it. Just take up her space, and she has to move away. Nice. Good solution.
Oh, right, the cheese my ball. That was good.
Good. I can see more of a relationship developing between you guys now.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Bring it back.
And then you can surf over.
Yeah. Woo! And I'm trying not to kick you with my feet.
Okay, so anytime you're trying to develop improvisation, you have a very, very specific challenge. Trying to develop improvisation in relationship to another person is called jazz, and it's tough, right? There's no easy way to do jazz, okay? So what we first want to do is take both of you guys into a place where you can let spontaneity happen naturally, without thinking about it. There's no fear, there's no better, there's no worse. Like, just, you got to be able to, like, let it out. Then, anything you want to do.
Oh, we lost you.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Oh, we're back. It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You back?
Yeah.
Okay, so once I learn how to express myself easily and openly, now if she's there and I pay attention to her, express yourself openly, it's very easy for me to synchronize that freedom with her expression in any kind of way, right? And that's just like a mirroring one. It was sort of mirroring, it was sort of positive, negative. But that's the order in which we're going to do things. And inside of each of those, like, you got one sphere for improvisation, and you got one sphere for, like, synergy, harmony, right? Mm-hmm. In each of those spheres, we have several different skills that we'll play with. And we started with a set of them today. And then we took a few, like one game that I know you guys can play on your own, which is that relational scenario. Those are the two spheres that we're going to have to develop simultaneously for you guys to be able to play spontaneously together. Does that all of that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
I used a lot of words. Sorry.
But you used your hands too, so I got it.
Tilt your screen up, Nancy, because I'm looking at your mouth. There we go. Okay, so any questions about any of the stuff we did today?
No, I think it actually worked really well, because we did some spontaneity dance tonight, just kind of as an exercise class, just kind of free moving. So it really
go ahead.
flowed well.
Were there other people, or was it just you two?
No, Jane was here.
Nice.
Yeah, we did a little 5 rhythms. We had a Gabriella Roth DVD, so.
Oh, I got you. So you just play a DVD. That's a good idea.
Yeah. Because Jane had hurt her hip, so she kind of had to be real careful, and that seemed like a good thing to get some stretching in for her. And then we had talked about the improv, and I really kind of wanted to be loose, and I already have that feeling of spontaneity and movement, and it was okay that I wasn't doing what you were doing or what Angie was doing. And if you do enough, like the form, and we're actually doing the same thing over and over, and you almost forget how to let go. I remember the first time you told me you're going to do improv. I'm like, really? Because we've been 6 months doing the form. I'm going to do whatever I want now. It's like, I don't know how to do anything but that.
Right.
I need to let go. Like the elephant always chained up, and then he's just got a chain hanging, so he stays right within that area.
Well, exactly. And I don't know if you've heard this or not, but Ringling Brothers had a tent with elephants and snakes, and when they're young, they use chains on their legs, but when they get older, they've had the chain on for so long, they know they can't get away, and then they just use rope, which an elephant could break easily.
Yeah.
They had a tent catch on fire. All the adult elephants were tied up with ropes and could have broken them, but they burned to death.
Oh.
Because they were afraid to move. They were etched in their brains.
Yes.
Get away. They were so set in a pattern. And that nature of patterns and how easily we become addicted to patterns is the very reason why I struggle with structured forms of anything, is because the more you learn to do my thing, the less clue you're going to have about any way of creating your own thing. So in Tai Chi and body juggling and energy healing and meditation, everything that I teach people, I'm always bringing them back to an authentic, spontaneous, improvisational experience of their own, because you can't be me. You know what I'm saying? It's tough enough for me to be me. You know, you got to rock you. And anything you learn, you're just trying to learn a language. You're just trying to learn a way of communicating. And once you learn words, you learn a whole bunch of words. You don't just speak the same words in the same order you've heard. You then start combining them on your own. And that's when you begin to discover yourself. So that's a part of the process. And the fact that you guys brought that back up just tickles me pink. So you're going to practice your tandem more this week.
Yeah.
If you can, practice stretching, freestyle.
Oh, absolutely.
Freestyle stretching, not dancing.
Yeah.
Freestyle stretching on and off the ball.
Yeah.
It tends to work better if you do it without the ball first, because you get more possibilities, and then you have like more movement when you come to the ball. I want you to practice that, and then practice the keep away game, not in terms of catching each other, but just in terms of manipulating each other's positions. Start to notice what it feels like to be able to affect someone else's space and position. Okay? And, go ahead.
What I was missing, you had said do it like it was like the two pole like magnet pushing against each other.
Uh-huh.
That's what I needed to pick up on more when Angi was chasing me, that it was more like the energy would be moving me.
Right.
Rather than trying to play chase, it should have been more like her movement was moving me.
Right, yeah. No, exactly, like two magnets that are the same polarity.
Yeah, polarity, yep.
Don't want to touch, definitely. Definitely. And then decide, think about it, talk about it, if you guys want to focus on tandem next week and then come back to improvisation after your show, or if you want to do improvisation next week.
Okay, yeah, we'll let you know before Tuesday. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Anybody have any other questions, thoughts?
No, I guess kind of one thought I'm sitting here thinking about is when we did stretching on the bar and then stretching on the ball, and the first thought that came into my head when I got on the ball was, okay, what move do I have to do? Because we have practiced so hard that it's so etched in my brain that the minute you get on the ball, it's ready, action, go, we're working.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and when I stood here, I was like, okay, what do I gotta? And you said, don't even think about it. And I'm like, well, wait a minute, I'm thinking about Dragonfly. I have to stop thinking about that. And I think it's because we've worked so hard and practiced so hard, and we're so dedicated to doing it and feeling each other's energy and stuff that it's kind of, oh, wait a minute, this is abnormal feeling.
Which is why I think it was really good that we did something different today, because you can get so that you've lost the beauty of the flow in the repetition.
Yes. And we're having a conversation while we're practicing on Sunday.
Yeah.
We're not even feeling the music. We're like, oh, and then we're going to go, and then we're going to...
Right. And I noticed that while you guys were both stretching, y'all had a tendency to talk about what you were feeling while you're stretching. Try not to do that, because that's pulling you out of the experience the same way you broke your flow to get to that other side. Try not to do that. I know it's really hard, if not impossible, to remember what you did do, but when you get on there and stretch, the goal is to stay inside your body and focus on the feeling and creating deeper, better, more free movement. Because when you do that, when you learn how to cultivate that deep, free movement that makes you feel good, then you can keep doing it. And it becomes easier and easier the more you do it. So in light of what your comment was, Angi, in addition, I want you to practice this week not thinking.
Yes.
Now, the average person would have no idea how to do that, so I'm going to teach you guys, okay? And Shar hasn't done this yet either. Okay, so We're going to play a game that I created called 60-second meditation. All right? Now, the name of the game, there's several different ways to do it, but the easiest way to do it right now is all of us are going to close our eyes, and with each breath, inhale, you're going to count 1. Exhale, you're going to count 2. Inhale, 3. Exhale, 4. You're going to go all the way up to 60 if you can make it that far, but nobody's going to get that far, so we won't take that long. Inhale 1, exhale 2. You're going to count as long as you can before you have a tangible thought. As soon as you get a tangible thought that you could draw a picture of or tell us what you were thinking, stop. And that number is your score. Okay? You got it? Inhale 1, exhale 2, inhale 3, exhale 4. Go as long as you can without a tangible thought. You ready?
Yep.
Sit up straight. Close your eyes and inhale 1. Okay, if you haven't already had a thought, pick what number you're at now. There's no way I believe y'all made it that long. What number did you make it to?
Like, it depends what you consider a tangible thought.
Very good question.
Because right away, like instantly I'm going, okay, inhale 1, and then he said, inhale 2. So like instantly, if you consider that a thought, I got 1. And then I was like, okay, stop, just count.
Yeah, that doesn't count. That doesn't count.
And then I'm telling myself, just stop and count. So there's another one. But then once I started counting, basically till 16.
Nice.
And then I commented on something on my heartbeat getting faster.
Nice. Beautiful. So
I got to 11. I got to 11 and I was like, 11, what's next? What's next? Oh, all right, I got to take something out for dinner. And I'm like, oh, I did it.
And what'd you get to, Nancy?
I got to 13. I'm a slow breather. I got to 13, and then I'm like, wow, I made it to 13. I'm like, does that count? And one thing in my opinion, is there are always these little things that come into your head, but if you don't grasp onto them, like if somehow dinner came into your head, but you didn't think about did I get dinner ready?
Yeah.
It just can't help but come there. It's just you don't grasp onto it. It's like, this is what I've been taught. It's like clouds move by. They just move by. You don't think about them. You just recognize they're a cloud. And that's one of the things, because we have a separate entrance here, but people don't often use it. So when we're in a yoga class on Saturday or Wednesday and we're laying in Savasana, people are invariably embarrassed to walk through. They're like, oh. And everyone that practices me has learned this is real life. You got to know that someone walked through. You just let it go. That's what yoga or meditation is supposed to be about. You recognize someone walked into the room and you let it go. I think it was Wendy that said her dog licked her for 20 minutes while she was meditating. Isn't that what it's supposed to be about? Yeah, it's happened, but you let it go and you just stay in the moment. You don't keep going, stop it, dog!
Right.
Look at me.
So there's many different aspects and beauty to this game. the first one is that it's going to change your relationship to what a thought is.
Yes.
Because you immediately have to justify to yourself what is a thought, right? And so your mind is going to move. Your mind is always moving, okay? Your mind is changing and shifting. Is your mind shifting a thought? No. You reflecting on it shifting and trying to hold on to it or being afraid of it or telling a story about it is a thought. But your mind shifting is not a thought, right? Me looking at your face, Nancy, is not a thought.
Right.
Looking at your face and there's Nancy. Me going, oh, that's a client or that's a student or that's a teacher or she owes me money or he this or that. That's a thought, right? And the game is not about close your eyes and like blah, 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 and you're going to get a score and walk away. It's a game that, just like meditation, you have to play over and over and over again.
Yes.
And as your relationship to what a thought changes, your ability to affect your thoughts is going to change as well. I guess I should click this. Okay. So that's one level of this, is that game, as simple as it is, will change your relationship to what a thought is. Number two, it tricks you into meditating more than you would otherwise, because even when you lose, you still go, oh no, that didn't count. And like, you cheated, sure, but now you're getting extra time of staying in that space, and then something comes up and you cheat again. Who cares? As long as you're creating more of that thoughtless space, the more thoughtless space you create, the easier it is to exist there, the easier it is to create it, okay? So all I've done is gamified meditation. And eventually, it will be a website, and you will have a timer, and you will be able to track like where you're at, and like, you know, it's like people
Just
can't.
send her the link. You've got one out there that you had sent me.
The little animated thing?
The little timer thing, yeah.
Yeah, I got a little animated thing, which was the beginning of it, but the site isn't done yet, and the ebook isn't done yet. But I love it, and I use it all the time. And anybody can play the game. A lot of people only make it 2 or 3 seconds, which is like, you really need to play the game bad, you know, play the game more. But so I want you to use that technique this week to learn to create that space, to learn to stay in that space of thoughtlessness. It's not going to come easy. You're going to screw up a lot. But as long as you don't make thoughts about screwing up, then you'll let go of that screwing up just as easy as you let go of the idea of dinner. Make sense? Okay, so
Absolutely.
practice not thinking this week. That's really good homework.
I'm going to tell my professor that. Hey, I was told not to think. So the reason why the paper didn't get done, I wasn't thinking.
Hey, I
No, she's heard all the excuses that she wants to hear of why papers don't get done. And I'm
Learning to meditate this week.
I'm practicing not thinking. That's why I didn't get done.
Nice. Okay, and I want feedback on what happened when you practice, and I want you to practice too, Nancy.
Yeah.
I want you guys to tell me what happened in the relationship to your thoughts, as well as the duration that you were able to create a thoughtless space. Okay? I want feedback. Great work. Any other thoughts, comments?
What a great night.
Yeah, I needed this. I needed to break the work we've been doing.
Right on. Thanks for asking what you need and acknowledging that we all have to create pockets of freedom inside of whatever our patterns are.
Yes, absolutely.
Yep.
Great work, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you next time.
See you next time.
Bye.